Hello everyone, and welcome to my reaction to the chapter 1163 of One Piece manga. In the live chat, we have Modru, Eloliet, Walid, Gustavo, Camille, Hachi, Booty, Tawashi, Big Boy, Deki743, Hunter is here, Tiago, Hachi says hello. Okay, so if there's more of you here, even if you're not in the mood to chat, welcome. I appreciate your presence. I'm looking forward to reading today's chapter. Just as a little highlight or to see things in perspective, episode 1147 came out today. So I already watched that earlier. Let me just double check. Yes, episode 1147. And that was the episode where Vegapunk finally made his big revelation about the world, the world will be underwater or something. He said something like that. So last week, I enjoyed the anime episode, and a lot of people were complaining about the pacing, but I said that, there's so much action and fun things going on. I really didn't have a problem with the pacing. But then this week, it felt too much even for me. But, we accept that from the anime by now. It's kind of like a part of a weekly airing, long-running shonen. But the manga chapter experience for that one was just so too much better. But the anime does things the manga doesn't do. I'm not comparing, I'm just kind of like giving an overview of where we're at this time. And it was kind of fun for me to go back. After I finished watching the episode, I went back to my manga read along. So it was chapter 1113, I believe. Let me just double check that. Yeah. So it's this video 1113, and we found out the world as we know it could be underwater soon. So instead of posting my reaction to the anime episode, which I don't think was much, like my reaction was not great, I just posted my reaction to that revelation. And today, about 9 months later, after reading that chapter, I think it was 9 months. Now I have to double check. Yes, okay, so it's been about 9 months since I read that chapter, and now we are on... It didn't come out 9 months ago. I read it 9 months ago. And today we are starting 1163. Okay, so here we go. The chapter is titled Promise. It says here, reader request, Luffy doing parkour all over town with white gibbons by Toshikazu. So it's a cute reader request. I can't believe after all this time, we finished Yamato's pilgrimage, right? So cute. A long time ago, I was trying to color some of these. Like, I was trying to learn how to do digital art, and I was trying to color some of these. And I think I should get back into that because, yeah, it would be fun to do this in color and share that with you guys every other week. So, the very first page. Dun, dun, dun. Read along with me on the Shonen Jump app. That's where I'm reading. Saint Saturn, why do you look like that? Are those devil fruit powers? Nuisances. He calls them nuisances. And then stabs them all through the chest. Ah! And everyone screams. Why is it attacking the Navy? Whose side is it on? Their own side. To a detrimental extent. if I can put it that way. Nobody's side! All units withdraw! Keep your distance! And they're screaming, chaos. Do not attack! Secure an escape route! Hey, get up, guys! It hurts, but it's so fascinating? What are you talking about? I can't believe what it did to my crew. Gaban, give these guys backup. Take some treasure and split. Not again. You'd better not get yourself in trouble. And then I think that this is Garp, right? He grabs someone by the collar. He says, what's going on here? What is that monster? I don't know. Saint Saturn just started transforming before our eyes. The 5 elders, huh? Never seen him before. Looks about right for the kind of freak who'd sit atop those maggots. Vice Admiral Garp, Ixnay on the Andersley. So he says, what? Stop slandering? Gorosei. Looks about right for the kind of freak who would sit atop those maggots. Is he talking about the celestial dragons? Jordan says, I'm glad you are caught up with the manga. Your weekly read-throughs is very exciting, and now you can join the next YouTube Reverie when they have it. What's a YouTube Reverie? I thought he meant the elders. Well, he says the 5 elders. I've never seen them before. Looks about right for the kind of freak who would sit atop those maggots. So he's saying, oh, that's what the Gorosei looks like. Typical for the type of freak who would sit atop those maggots. So the Gorosei sitting atop maggots, and I'm assuming he means celestial dragons. I don't really do collabs. I was saying earlier in this video, I'm not good at video calls or one-on-one kind of, so let's talk about that later. Let's focus on the manga. Calling them maggots is a compliment, actually. Hey you, king of the bilge rats. You're here to kill me, aren't ya? So it was thee, Davy Jones. You got the wrong guy. I've never even met him. However, promises are meant to be kept. Which is exactly why thy kind must be erased from history. Ooh, this is some screenshot stuff right there. This is stuff we need to think about. Remember, and the title of the chapter is Promise. He's never met Davy Jones, but promises are meant to be kept. And that is why their kind must be erased from history. Did you think that's an interesting Jordan says, I'm starting to think Oda isn't hiding Imu's identity. Imu legit looks like this all the time. I didn't know anyone still thought the identity was being hidden. Like, I also just assumed for a while now, oh yeah, that's it. This is why thy kind must be erased from history. My world is still incomplete. My world? It ain't your world. And he slices off a finger. Spider finger. Look at Rocks. He dares attack Saint Saturn. Oh my gosh, all the Rocks fangirls are... Cue the Lonely Island song. Let's just say that. Should we offer help, Rear Admiral? I don't... Of course we're helping out. Move it! Vice Admiral Garp! Wait a second. Helping out which side? Well, only one side is killing you right now. So I would say in self-defense, there's only one thing you should be fighting right now. Sidar Dennis Dogan says, Emu must be living in the past. They called Luffy Joy Boy and Chebek Davy, respectively. The pirates are making off with the treasure. Stop them. Those are world-class valuables. Everyone's running away with their treasure. It's wild out there. Fwee-he-he-he. Ready to start hauling? Wait, who laughs like fwee-he-he-he? It sounds like, I know it's not. I mean, it's 0%. I'm just saying it. That laugh reminds me of Noro Noro Beam. Because he's not even alive at this point, maybe. But I'm just saying. It sounds so much like... Wait, Brule also laughs like that? Foxy, yeah. Foxy. Sounds so funny. Ready to start hauling? Just say the word, Captain. Wait. We don't even know, Fox, how old. Foxy might just look really good for his age. I'm kidding. Ready to start hauling? Just say the word, Captain John. And then he says, so long, Rock's pirates. What is happening over there? I hear screaming. There, a Navy ship through the trees. They will be able to protect the child. Really? I know that you can't, but trusting the Navy right now, at this time, after this is being orchestrated, maybe he just means he can hide there. No, he said they will be able to protect the child. Come back, treasure chests. Oh, he does have the same fruit. Everyone was theorizing about that. Oh, the metal is reacting to something. Wait, let me turn the... Oh, the metal is reacting to something. It's being pulled away from us. And then he says, Big Ether, come to me, my treasures. What is this? What is this? What are those little... I don't know. It's being translated as grg, I guess. Grg. That's Captain John's magnet power. There's a powerful pull coming from the southeast entrance to the valley. I know there's sound effects. I'm trying to figure out what sound it's making. I'm saying the translation is saying grg, but I'm asking if that's accurate because grg is not, it doesn't sound right. Although here it says zu grg. Clank clank. Move it. Let them figure that out. And then someone's calling Roger and someone's calling John stupid and then uses a sky snake red cannon. But he did this. Bazoom! Kaboom! Captain John! But he said goodbye, rocks pirates. Goodbye, rocks pirates. And then he like attracted all the after he said that, he used his power to draw back all the treasure. It's not like he was expecting to run away with all the treasure that came to him. What was he expecting to do here? And why did... Oh, is Big Ether. So then, anyway, there was an explosion and John maybe died. Because we know that he died on this island, and we saw his zombie body on his island, right? Killer... No, what was it called? Oh, Mr. Five's devil fruit, the bomb fruit. Is it the snot one? Oh no! That's what he did. No. Ew. Okay, so anyway, that happened. John was killed by his crewmates. Because he took their treasure? But what was he going to do with the treasure? Become a treasure monster? Like, you know how... Konnichiwa. You know how Kid attracts metal and then he makes his arm, he makes like a metal arm. So maybe he wanted to use the treasure to fight. But why did he say goodbye, rocks pirates? Was he going to run away with the treasure and betray them? What was his plan? Anyway, so he was called stupid and then exploded with a snot bomb. Clank, clunk, and I think the blast maybe knocked Dragon, or something happened to Dragon. Gunsui, why did you shoot John? Do you really think he's gonna split that treasure with us? Each of those chests is worth at least 1 billion berries. Annoyed, anyone would want to keep it all to himself. And then I think he attacks Shiki too. You can't, Vice Admiral. Guys, I cannot read the word Admiral. I think Shiki kills Ganzui, but it looks like Ganzui aims at Shiki, but then Shiki sees him and maybe kills him. But okay, there is like about 100 Marines trying to hold back Garp. You can't! That is the supreme authority of the world government up there. What, that vermin? Let me try too, Rocks. Damn it, Kaido, you wait right there. And then what the heck? Is this... I'm gonna kill you. What, are you jealous? Check this out. What, are you jealous? I love this banter between these two. And then you have Whitebeard, and you have Rock screaming, and then you have Roger, that's my quarry, Garp. And then you have Garp going, Galaxy Impactor, Divine Departure, Pandemonium. Whoa! Imagine what this is going to look like in the anime. All of these attacks together. I have a feeling there's gonna have to be like a flash warning on that. There's gonna be so many lasers. We're not even gonna see what they look like. We're just gonna see pew, 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 pew. Sunglasses. Yeah. We're gonna need sunglasses for this episode. So we have Impact, Divine Departure, Pandemonium, Chokwa, what? Ikoku, Sovereignty, and Dragon! Excuse me, did Kaido just shout dragon? That is the best attack ever, I agree. just said dragon. He has not had any time to come up with a name, and he just went Ryu. Oh my gosh, he's so funny. Wow. Dragon. Oh, and then Emu is hit, but I mean, we know how that turns out. And everyone is like foaming at the mouth from the energy that just went out and fell to the ground. What is going on over there? Armageddon or something? Look at all the chests. Pick them up. And then there's Rayleigh running away with Shaki. Rayleigh's always got his eye on the prize. Never forget a pirate's true calling. This is insane. I need to at least save this baby. That's not... What? Where did he go? Oh, and that's when he crawled into a treasure chest. Okay. Shoot, how did that happen? Probably in the scramble. The baby crawled away and he grabbed a log. Shoot. But I mean, we all know where Shanks turned out. So, fate. I can see them. Wait. Let me turn back this way. Wait! I can spit out what I've already eaten. Oh, I can't spit out what I've already eaten. Give me money then. Oh, I love them. They're too funny. My blow did the trick. No, it was mine. I can see them running through the distant forest. What are you talking about? New Davies, a woman and a child, striving so very hard to live. A pestilence that must not be unleashed upon the world. Whatever you're thinking, don't do it. And then there's like boom, boom. Huh? Moo, I will do nothing. What is this? It doesn't even hurt. Thou wilt end thy own bloodline. Slaughter thy wife and child. What? Are you crazy? I'm not gonna... Domi Riversi. And there it is. We knew. I think last week we talked about this. Why was he killed? And why, we said it must be some kind of misunderstanding. We knew this was going to happen. Last week we talked about this, I'm pretty sure. Fuck. What is the requirement to do domi reversi on someone? That's my question, because we need to figure out how to avoid. Thou wilt end thy own bloodline. We know that Teach survived, so someone stopped him. And we all know, I've even said this in discussion videos, in many discussions. Any of us born into this life, at one point could snap and go crazy. But who of us would not want to be held accountable if we were going to do something horrible, like kill someone, kill an innocent person, or even, worst case scenario, your own child? Anyone at that point would beg, while they are still sane, they would say, kill me before I can even, Anyone would want to be stopped. And I'm guessing Whitebeard stopped him. And for some reason, this whole tale was twisted. And the Blackbeard thought Whitebeard killed his father. When Whitebeard actually, I'm guessing, I'm trying to predict here, maybe saved his life. and did exactly what Rox would have wanted him to do. You can share your theory, yeah. The leaks don't come out until like Tuesday, right? So you can share your theory. People are theorizing that Emu can only Domi Reversi people in their birthplace. Oh, because of the giants being Domi Reversi on Elbaf. Who else was Domi Reversi? Domi is home in Italian. Oh. Let's see. All people turn to devils, were turned in their homeland. Domi Reversi is returning home. Pirates leave their home. Joy Boy is the first pirate. Huh? I think if you show anger, turns Emu that opens... Well, if Domi means home in Italian, that's kind of like a giveaway. Or in Latin. I think if you show anger, it turns Emu that maybe you have to be angry and in your home place, like, because it is true that if you are a reactionary person, if you react from anger, it's much easier for the government to manipulate people if they're reactionary, angry or extremely, sad or something. So I could imagine, I can see that being the case. So if someone is like happy and not, that could make them immune. I could see that, but it has to be linked to home, like people are saying. Fear, anger, those kinds of emotions are very easy to manipulate. And I think that for thousands of years, I might be exaggerating, but probably governments have used fear and anger to manipulate the masses, to look away from what they need to look at, and to, I mean, that's how wars that benefit the government and people making money from the war, that's how propaganda and stuff works. And they keep each other mad and angry so that they can justify keeping the wars going. So it would kind of fit into that theme. I also read a theory about gear, reverse. Either reverse Domi, Reversi, or turn other people to Nika forms. That sounds a bit complicated. I don't understand what that's based on. Domi Reversi could also just be because it sounds cool. Yeah, but that's not how theories work, is it? Anything could just be anything, but we're theorizing. It's like when I said I watched Sanji in Eni's lobbies firefoot, and I was like, whoa, what could that mean? And people were like, no, it's a symbolic fire. And then I was like, oh, well, okay then. Hundreds of chapters later, it could actually be related to his race or something about his history, and then I never even got the chance to theorize about it because people just shut it down. Like, we know that theories could be wrong, but that's not really... Don't think Blackbeard had a personal grudge against Whitebeard. He just saw an opportunity and took it. I think he said something, though, that... I think it was a grudge thing. But I'm not sure, but didn't he say something that made it sound like... Danny says, in One Piece, everything has a hidden meaning. Oda likes to play with us. I really think that if you look at the 1,000 chapters that we've gotten, and things that link back, it's not always that he knew back then exactly what he was doing. But if you read Bakuman is based on writing manga for Shueisha or whatever they're called, Shonen Jump. I'm pretty sure, like, take this with a grain of salt. But in Bakuman, one of his, I don't want to spoil the story, but one of the writing techniques that he learns from someone is, if you're stuck at a part in the story, go back, read your early chapters, find something interesting that maybe you left unexplored, and just link it back. Sometimes they really know that far in advance. Other times they're just really good at linking back. But either way, it's a brilliant technique, and it takes a brilliant writer to make it work. And I really do think that Oda plans a lot of things in advance. If you listen to what I said a few minutes ago, I also talked about fear and how it's a very important theme. So I think you're just agreeing with what I was saying earlier, but okay. I'm pretty sure that's how most of the best authors do it. They know the ending that they want to get to. I mean, this story was never supposed to be this long. In the first year of One Piece, he said it's going to end in 5 years. So I'm 1000% sure he knew the ending for a long time. And he's just like exploring the world and filling it in. So yeah. I think birthplace is very limited. I think we should look at who has it been used on. I don't think it would be a coincidence if everyone who's been reversed has been reversed in their home place. If that is the case, you can't just ignore it. It's still just a theory. We'll never know until we know, but it's a good theory if everyone that we've known to be reversed has been in their own place of birth. That would be a good theory. That's why I said there could be more than one requirement. Number one, home soil. Number two, emotions that are able to be manipulated, like fear and anger. It would be very, very scary if the only thing needed was anger, because then you could literally, if home place is too limited, then anyone with anger in their heart is too vast. You could literally do Domi Reversi on anyone then. That would be very scary. Danny says the Lunarians. They lived on top of the Red Line, and now the Celestial Dragons live there. Lunarians? Like king? And Luna is moon, and Eneru wanted to go to the moon. I think asking who is the better character between Roger and Whitebeard is a question that I'm not interested in. Based on what? Design? Personality? Backstory? Because we've seen more of Whitebeard than we've gotten to see of Roger so far. So what exactly do you want to base that on? I think before asking the question, answer the question and tell me why, because I want to know what you're basing the question on. I'm wondering why Emu wouldn't appear on Egghead, especially since Emu kills Saturn for Luffy escaping. Maybe he learned from this experience. Don't just pop up wherever. Maybe it has to be like an extremely serious case. And in Egghead, as far as I can tell, the Gorosei kept thinking that they had things under control until they didn't. Let me read the Rox is about to kill his own wife, isn't he? I think so, but I think we'll be able, I mean, obviously we're able to save Teach. That ain't Rox no more. Also true. But, I mean, last week I'm pretty sure we all saw this coming, right? I love how they think they had to ask Garp which side he's helping. Truly a legend that wasn't fired from the Marines after punching the boss of his boss's boss. I bet Sengoku had a hell of a time covering up that report or feeding it to his goat. I hate to have actually called out Chebek being potentially reversed last chapter, but I was kind of hoping there would be some restriction or limitation on that move. It looks like it can be used on anyone so far, but that was what we've been talking about. Apparently there's a theory running around about the power from Emu working only in the target's hometown. It might be far-fetched, but it's odd that it's happened twice in the same circumstance. I think that's a very good point to bring up. So far, it's too big of a coincidence for Emu to show up here in the past, knowing Chebek would be there, knowing it's his hometown. That's where Emu shows up. Doesn't show up in Egghead, maybe because whose hometown is Egghead? Could he use Domi Reversi there? Probably not. Then in Elbaf again, it's like he's waiting for the opportunity where his power would benefit most. Otherwise, what's the point of him going? You know, it could be that. It does match from what we've seen so far. I was also wondering if we've seen it used on a Devil Fruit user, but I'm not sure with the God Knights and Elders, when they have a different pact for immortality going on and would receive it willingly. Adding to that theory from this or next week's episodes, it would be easier to make that limitation more practical with the flooding of the world, making it more difficult to travel away from home. So that's why it would benefit them to flood the world so that people... but people travel all the time on the ocean. I know. But I see what you're saying. This would also tie in nicely to the discrimination of fishmen, since the flooding only makes it easier for the fishmen to travel. Maybe that's why the world is full of islands, to make travel hard and deadly. But that's, to me, a big jump, because our world is full of islands. That's just the world. I do understand what you're saying, though. That's why it could benefit them to make more islands, so that the average person finds it more difficult or expensive to travel, so they would just stay in their hometown. Which ties in with the concept of freedom and lack thereof. It could work. I can see that. Queen told Sanji that Zoro had no chance against King because he's Lunarian. Sanji asks Queen how the Lunarians were defeated, and Queen says he doesn't know. I'm sure Emu is the reason. I'm missing the Straw Hats. I love the flashback, but it feels like it's been a year since we've seen them. But that's one of the things that makes One Piece so good. But I get you, yeah. But it hasn't been that long. Does anyone know how many weeks it's been since we saw them? I think it's like 3-4 months. But I'm not good at guessing time because I thought I've been playing Persona 5 Royal for about 8 or 9 months, but it's been a year. So I'm always a few months out. Camille says Lunarians have wings. They can also travel easily. So that's why they don't like fishmen, because they can swim. Lunarians because they can fly. It's all tied to that freedom. Having people move around easily. And not like in their little cages. Shanks's father is a saint, and the man who raised him was the world's most heinous man. Poetic. I think that's like, because one of the themes of One Piece is also about how you have Marines that are meant to save the world, but we see some very bad Marines, right, throughout the whole story. But then pirates who are these bad guys, but we see a lot of great pirates. But I think people often seem to jump, well, then Marines are the bad ones and pirates are actually the good ones. And we should support the But I feel like it's a little bit not that far. It's just showing that just because someone is called a saint doesn't make them one. Just because someone is called the world's most heinous man doesn't make them one. But that doesn't mean every Marine is bad either, or every pirate is good. I think that is where critical thinking comes in. Was it today or yesterday? When did we have a discussion about this kind of critical thinking? Oh, Spy Family Season 3, Episode 4. Critical thinking. The truth is complicated, but it doesn't mean you shouldn't strive to learn more. And it doesn't mean you should sometimes step in or do something. You can't just always, not decide. Like, just because things are not black and white, so not all Marines are good, not all Marines are bad. That doesn't mean there aren't some bad pirates and some good Marines, because I feel like that's where people always annoy me. Like, I would say, I don't like this pirate. And then they're like, oh, you're so black and white. Just because he's a pirate, you think he's bad. And then I'm like, no, it's not that he's a pirate that shows me he's bad. It's his actions. You can't forever say everyone is gray when some actions are just... Like, we have to draw a line somewhere. If you want to live in a functional society, we're not animals. We're going to have to make some rules. We just have to be really careful and always be critical and adjust them as society grows and learns and hopefully improves. It has been shown celestial dragons can and do have the potential to be good even. Because any one of us raised in that situation would think that we are the best and everyone else is like rats. But that doesn't mean they all deserve to die. Yes, they should be put away for the rest of their lives. But Queen Otohime showed us, if you can show someone, if you can reach someone, even they can change. And look at Doflamingo's father went down because he didn't want to be a celestial dragon, and he was killed. And those people were not in the right for what they did. They tried to kill children. So it shows that everyone has the potential to be absolutely horrible. So watch yourself. If anyone says that, I don't think anyone, there's not one person reading One Piece that at this point is saying, has ever said the Navy are unanimously good guys. So, but yeah, I get what you're trying to say. That would be an example of a character like the Red Dog. Because he thinks that he is completely in the right no matter what, because he's working for the greater good. But a lot of people in real life think that. A lot of people support horrible things because they believe it's for the greater good. I miss Mjosgard and Corazon. They are too good for this world. I miss Corazon too. Mjosgard, sure, but especially Corazon because of... I know this is a bad example because people don't like, but don't see this as a religious example. Like, you don't have to believe in the religion or the God to understand what the analogy that I'm going to use. So there's this guy in the Bible called Paul, and he used to be like this huge Christian killer, right? He hated Christians and he killed a bunch of them. And but he's one of the best people. Like, he became a believer, and then he went out to teach the Bible to many people, blah blah blah, and he made thousands upon thousands. So I think that's a good example of like what Mjosgard could have been, because he was the worst of the worst. He had the potential. So any person has the potential to be the most heinous scum of the earth, but we should never, you can hate them for what they do and you could want to stop them, but we should never believe that we have the right to take a life, because then you're just as bad. You should always, and this, I'm saying this with a grain of salt because I know how difficult that can be when it comes to certain people and the horrible things that they've done, because you know in your heart they're never going to change. But we can't pass that judgment as, we just can't. Because the people who have been the worst, not just been through the worst, but the people who have been the worst, they can be, how to say, they can enact some of the greatest change. And that's a very tough pill to swallow. Akainu comeback like Endeavor, just watch. That'll be some freaking good writing, but I don't see it happening. I don't. Not everyone does change, but... That's the thing, though. Because if we had seen more of all the horrible stuff that Mjosgard might have done in his life, I don't think we would have wanted to... We wouldn't have wanted him to become a better person. Because it's too difficult to let go of that anger. If you've seen what they've done, it's too difficult. That's why we have laws and stuff that remove emotion. Because once you put emotion in it, I could never imagine what kind of stuff Mjosgard might have done. I would have never believed his repentance or whatever it's called. So that's why law can't deal with emotion, because how do you forgive someone for stuff like that? As an individual, I can't imagine it, because you'd always think, what if it was my family? That's why people don't like me for this, but I can very, very, very rarely, I like villains. Because if I see what they've done, I always think of it like, what if they did that to my family? What if they did that to my friends? What if they did that to me? I couldn't support this. But give it enough time and make them entertaining, and I can laugh at them and I can think they're funny. Kaido, Big Mom, Crocodile. But man, don't ask me in a freaking arc. Hey, think about the sad backstory. Hey, why do... It's just... I wonder what Akainu would say if he was in God Valley and saw everything that happened. What do you mean? It's for the greater good? He destroyed O'Hara? Like that? he would not care. He's for the greater good. That's how he convinces himself. I just read there might be a 6-month anime break. Is that true? Probably not. But if they did 6 months on, 6 months off, I would support it. I think that should be the new normal. 6 months of One Piece, 6 months of let Oda finish. And you work on the episodes. On, off, on, off. Otherwise, but then they need to fix the pacing. Because if they take 6 months off every 6 months, after 6 months, they can't do episodes like tonight. They need to adjust the pacing, because then they'd have breathing room to do it. I would support, but they better start to do more than a 1-to-1 adaptation. That's what I'm saying. You can't then have the excuse it's a weekly anime, blah, blah, blah. No. Then they have big shoes to fill. I have asked that in the past. That is one of my big questions. Why the celestial dragons? Why need them? They're they do nothing. I want to remember when I asked it. I should keep notes, but I don't. I'm thinking it could be draining their life force, or God knows. I don't know. I'm not even going to grace that with an answer. You can decide for yourself if the guy who... No. He gets the God Knights and Gorosei from them. But why only from them? Is there something in there special about their blood? Like, Lunarians have special characteristics. Fishmen have special characteristics, blah, 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 blah. Do the celestial dragons have special characteristics that make them better knights? They did well with the Fishman Island re-edit during the 6-month break. Dressrosa desperately needs that treatment. I didn't watch that though, so I can't comment on it, but... It seems he has some control over them with the possession, teleporting, and immortality. Yeah, I don't know. Sakazuki, is that Akainu? I don't see it. That would be freaking good writing though, but I don't see it. Luffy, Kobe, and maybe Blackbeard. But Akainu... Man, that would have to be one hell of a character arc that Oda needs to write. Celestial dragons are 5 elders' kinsmen. Of course they would keep them. I don't think they care about the celestial dragons like kinsmen, but then I understand what you mean, like blood related. Poor dragon is going to feel so bad about himself. He couldn't save anyone. This will be his breaking moment, but it will motivate him to find the freedom fighters. I think he's already motivated enough. He didn't need to lose Shanks to be motivated, but yeah, I think that's going to be really rough on him. I want to take a peek at if anyone is tweeting about the chapter. You guys already know about theories and stuff. Where do you read people's theories so quickly? One Piece 1163. Brief spoilers for One Piece chapter 1163 by me. This is on Twitter from Pew Peace. The cover is Luffy doing parkour with monkeys. Emu calls Rocks Davy Jones, but Rocks replies he's not that guy. I do agree that what is promised must be fulfilled. Big Mom joins the trio in battle. They attack together. Roger pirates clash with Rocks pirates who start fighting each other. Like John versus Ganzui. Garp and Roger joins against Emu. Chebek and his top 3 all attack together. There is an epic double page with Rocks, Roger, Garp, Whitebeard, Kaido, and Big Mom, and the freaking Kaido saying, "Dragon!" Oh, I never in a million years thought that Kaido would make me laugh so much. You know, if there's anyone that could write the Akaine's redemption arc, it would be Oda, but I just... he's just that good. Even that massive attack, Emu recovers. Chapter ends with Emu using Domi Reversi on the Rocks and ordering him to kill his family. No break next week. So that's just a recap from Pew Peace. Here's a tweet from the Unknown 5. An impression of the fiery chapter 1163 titled The Might... Oh wait, that's 1163. Huh? The Might of the Absolute Entity. What title is that? A lot of people I'm seeing, they're doing summaries. There are some color pages, which is really nice. Fan color pages. Chapter 1163 of One Piece available in French version on the site. What is this? This is so cute. Is this the cover of the Jump magazine this week? It is so cute. Someone did a color fan art. I love it. Mato XX2. That's really nice. Okay, well, I don't really see any opinions. It's mainly people recapping it. I don't know where you guys read your, like, oh, but the leaks have been out since Tuesday or Wednesday or something. So probably you've been on like Reddit and stuff and the people are already talking. Okay. Any final thoughts, final questions? I'm just thinking about next week and how difficult that's gonna be. Are there any other pause Devil Fruit users you want to see? Yeah, I never really think about stuff like that. Anyone would be cool. I'm not the kind of person that, like, I don't do power scaling. I just want to know more of the story. But next week's gonna be a difficult chapter. People are going to rage. Did you... It's not that you believe Akainu is a good man deep down or anything. It's just that the celestial dragons hunting entire islands worth of people is so atrocious. I would like to think even Akainu isn't that heartless to be okay. But did you not read the Robin's backstory? Did you not see? You can literally tell the man anything and say it's for the greater good, and he'll be like, okay. Someone who's willing to do that for the greater good is willing to do anything as long as you say it's for the greater good. We're hunting for the greater good. These are shitty people who shouldn't be alive. This is... blah, blah, blah. Oh, okay. Like, literally, all those people did was research a little into the Void history. And he was like, okay, that's a good enough reason for me. Do you think that it would be different in God Valley? Akainu says... Booty says Akainu was even killing his own men in Marineford just because they were scared. Search Tritoma and you will see a little similarity between her and Luffy's face. Are you talking about one of the Boa sisters or something? I think we already talked about that. If it's her. One of the... Yeah, we talked about that. We already know, people theorize that it's Luffy's mom. O'Hara people broke the law. They did some research. If he couldn't think critically for himself that that is not a good enough reason to murder an entire island, trust me, he would not have cared about God Valley given any kind of reason. Oh, it's Davy Jones people and they're bad. They are part of the Void history. You don't think that's a good enough reason for him to think, yeah, just hunt them down. Who cares? Come on, think. Considering Zeus was in God Valley, seeing Imu Saturn, we should question if he still remembers. We should question him if he... Oh, you're saying like Nami should ask Zeus. I think there's a big reason why Zeus is with Nami. So it's definitely going to be relevant again later. That would be pretty cool. He did fight back against the Gorosei for covering for Doflamingo. Akainu. He's an angry guy. He seems like he would fight against a lot of things, especially if he's left in the dark. But he's also the kind of guy that's like, as long as he believes it's for the greater good, you can do anything. I'm not saying that he can't change. That's literally what we were talking about earlier. Anyone can change and be, you know, a facilitator for more people to change because of how they understand, you know, what mindset they used to have. I'm just saying that if you believe that after what we saw in O'Hara, that he would really have a problem with what was happening in... That just seems naive. Like, he would need more than that to... Something's gonna happen to his daughter, and then maybe he'll think. Some people just need... How did Mjosgard get shaken up? I think Otohime took like a shot for him or something. What happened there? It literally... Something needs to hit them on a very personal level, because people like that don't see others as truly human, I think. Like, O'Hara was just the minority. We have to kill these few people for the greater good. Like, he sees people in like blurry giant masses. So you have to, if you want someone like that to change, he has to lose his daughter or something, because otherwise what's going to shake him awake? I don't know. Otohime got shot, and then she talked to him for weeks on their boat trip. That reminds me of a guy that I used to watch. I saw some of his TED Talks. It was a black guy who spoke to a lot of KKK members and like became their friend and stuff. And he changed them. He like reached them. I think a lot of these things, it's like being part of a cult. It's almost too easy of an excuse. But like the Celestial Dragons, it's like a cult up there. They get fed like Wagyu cattle. They're still freaking cattle up there. But they're like, they get fed fanciest of everything. They get fed, they're this prime meat. I mean, excuse me. They're the real humans. They're the best humans. They're the royalty. But it's basically a cult. Their minds are warped. But they can be unwarped with real humanity, genuine conversation. But sadly, sometimes it needs a kind of event, like someone taking a freaking bullet for you, or, you know, your daughter dying in front of you, or like, that's what I imagine if Akainu would wake up, if maybe that happened. Sometimes talking is not enough, but I do like that we have a real world example of that guy talking to KKK members and actually changing them. Because it shows that it's possible. They also get executed for being too nice to humans. So it's like it's like using a shock collar on a dog to train him not to leave the yard. But way, 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 way worse than that. Like, you're killing off someone for looking at humans down there and being nice to them. Yeah, they get killed off for that kind of shit. Your brain, just to survive, would believe the cult shit more, because if you sympathize, you're dead. That's kind of crazy. Doesn't excuse their behavior. We're trying to understand how your mind can become like that. Imagine being raised like that. I used an example. I need Akainu to suffer for what he did to Ace, and me as a reader. I cried. But you understand how that works, right? You don't like, you feel hurt by something someone did, and now you want them to suffer. You understand how, on a larger scale, that's the problem, right? I understand the feeling, don't get me wrong. I'm just making sure you also understand that's the larger problem. Like, they hurt us, so now we get to hurt them. What's a meme? And while you explain to me what is the meme, I'm going to roll. if you're talking about Hassan using a shock collar on his dog, I don't really see that it's a meme. It's a problem. Because if it's true, there's a difference between like wanting to keep your pet alive so that they don't run into the street and die. Like, that is maybe debatable. But wanting to keep your dog in the frame so that you can look relatable, I wouldn't call that a meme. But anyway, what you didn't expect here? What did you not expect? I used it as a valid example of a cruel method of training. That's not a meme. I wasn't making a joke. Sorry, but I don't like that story, and I'm hoping that it's not true. It's just that is I hate that fucking story. Anyway, so good chapter. A little dark, sad. Look out for next week. I think I read all the posts about it in the One Piece chat. There wasn't that many. Thomas says, I hope Rox will resist at the end to give his final moments as himself. That would be nice. But maybe. But I think that by then he'd probably be like, it'll be too late, like it'll just be his last breath. But yeah, that's what you're hoping for, right? Danny says, I feel bad for Rox and for Dragon in this chapter. I feel bad for a lot of people. That whole island. I mean, and at the same time, the whole Bonnie's dad, the whole Kuma thing is going on. There is lots of people to feel bad for in this arc. I hope Teacher's escape will not be something as simple as Kuma sending him away. He ended up with Whitebeard though, and Shanks ended up with Roger. So I don't know if they're. Do we know anything about how Teach grew up? He hasn't mentioned like. Don't forget, this whole island disappears at the end of this. I wonder how that happens. Yeah, because they don't have the mother flame. But I mean, what happened to O'Hara? I wonder if he joined Whitebeard immediately. Because he did say he joined because it was the best chance of the fruit. Yeah, that's why I was wondering if we know everything about how he grew up. Because to me, I would assume that he ended up with Whitebeard. But probably not. Because then he would be much closer to Whitebeard, right? He would have known the truth about what happened. Holy shit. Where did he end up? His friendship with Kizaru makes me think he has an ounce of humanity. I've spoken about those three before. The red dog, the yellow one, the blue one. They're symbolic of methods of authority. Like the one is the worst kind of justice. The one is, let me show you. I'll summarize it again. So you have Akainu red, you have Aokiji blue, you have Kizaru yellow. So red is the worst kind of good. What is the alignments? You have the lawful evil, I would say, I guess. Is that the right way? Lawful evil. I'm not sure, but let me know. Then you have this one, who is like lawful neutral, I guess. Because he's like neutral, but like it's the law, so I do it. But I don't know if it's right or wrong. I don't think about it too much. So then that would be like lawful neutral. And you had Aokiji. So it's like, wait, this one should be in the middle, because it's like one extreme and then the middle one. And then he's the one that was like, so one doesn't criticize anything. He does not critically think, he just does. What is the law? No matter how bad it is, for him it's good. Then you have the one who doesn't feel it's not good, it's not bad, I'm just doing my job. He's the middle one. And then you have the one that is doing his job, but he's critically thinking. And he came to the conclusion that maybe chaotic, is there such a thing as chaotic lawful? Maybe chaotic good, yeah, I don't know. He was part of the law, but he thought critically. So then he left. But I don't think we can call him lawful good yet, because it's like he's still figuring out exactly what is right, what is wrong, because he joined Blackbeard. We don't really know why yet. But at least he thought critically. But I want to point out, my favorite of all of these types is Jaguar D Soul, because he thought critically and didn't join up with Blackbeard. I'm joking. I'm not a big Blackbeard fan, sorry. Following rules, even against friends, is pretty lawful neutral, as long as you don't overdo it, as Akainu does. Kizaru killed Vegapunk. I wouldn't call it neutral. Yeah, following rules even against friends is lawful neutral as long as you don't overdo it. Like, he didn't do it like... He kind of half-assed it. Like, he's like, I'm just doing my job here, pew. And remember, he helped Luffy, so he was kind of like... I don't love that type of character because it's very wishy-washy to me. But it's also very realistic. Kuzan is true neutral. Kuzan? Aokiji? I wouldn't call him true neutral. I like him because he thinks critically. He doesn't just want to be neutral. He wants to think what is right, what is wrong. Like, he's discovering it through the story. I wouldn't personally see him as neutral, but maybe neutral until he figures things out, but not neutral because he was a Marine who thought critically, who left the Marines, but then joined Blackbeard. So, yeah, I don't know what he is, but he's interesting. I'm looking forward to finding out more of his mentality and where he's at and what his plans are for the future. Literally what I said, but okay. Oh, yeah. God forbid he lose his job and benefit since his job is so great. I'm joking. I don't know what would happen to someone who... look what happened to Jaguar D Soul. If you defect from... They probably come for you and your family. I don't think it's easy to get out of there. Booty says, Kuzan was a clear lawful good, but now that he's not following the rules, it's hard to put him in the lawful anymore. And we hope he's still good, but we don't know. Yeah. That's why I like him, because he's like, as long as he thinks critically, I like him. And I want to see more of what's going on in his head. But at this time, I'm very frustrated with where he's at, but I'm believing that there's a reason that I don't get yet. So we're just waiting. Anyway, so this is veering really far off from the actual chapter, so I'll stop. But it was a very good chapter, as always. Oda is, to me, always killing it. Where I was tagged for what? Yeah. No! Oh no, you claimed the evil dad! I mean, oh no, but I'll take it. I'll trade you. Remember when I said yesterday there's a few I wouldn't claim? And then I was like, why is this guy second ranked? Why did you tag me? Modru, you've read the manga. Why did you tag me? Poor Espada. You made him claim crap. Honestly, maybe Espada would like him. Espada likes baddies. Yeah, okay, so that's fine. Now I have to take him because he claimed for me. I don't want the key. I would take a key for Frieza. I would take a key for Beetlejuice, but I don't want to take a key for this guy. He's just... I'll take a key for him, whatever. I'll take him. Reluctantly. Wait, did I roll? Oh no, I can vote. Wait. So, yeah, final questions, final thoughts on the actual chapter. I think my favorite moment was just freaking Kaido things. Like, honestly, he's too funny, but... Oh, wait, no. Let me zoom through it. I like the theory about the theorizing about the Domi Reversi. I really like that it has two things that need to be met. One, fear, anger in your heart, emotions, easy to be manipulated, big theme in One Piece. And the two, home soil. Yeah, dragon. That was the best. Let me see. Okay. Skimming. I do really like the promises are meant to be kept. Linking with the title, very interesting. I like to see the powers, kids' power, the Mr. Five's power. I love to see Shanks crawling into the little treasure chest, Garp running to fight with all those people trying to hold him back, and he's just like motoring forward. I love the panel where everyone is using their attacks, but Dragon is just the best attack. I cannot wait for Dragon to be animated. I want to hear him shout, Dragon! And then honestly, the ending just makes me really sad. It was done very well because it makes you feel so hopeless. Like, we all knew how this was gonna turn out. We know what next week is gonna look like. But So Joy Boy's promise was to the ancient mermaid princess, and Davy Jones was to Emu. But maybe it's like something like, I'm gonna get you. But I need to remember that. I think Emu wasn't wrong when he called rocks Davy Jones. What does that mean? And then why did he call Luffy Joy Boy? Was he right then too? But please let me know in the comment section. I'm going to end the stream and the video here. It was a super fun weekend. No, wait, let me finish the video first because I don't want to rush. Please leave your thoughts in the comments, and if you have any questions, and please also remember that, you know, I am reading this for the first time with you guys, and processing and emoting live. So forgive me if I said anything harshly. And yeah, if you have a question or you want me to expand on my thoughts. The only problem is sometimes people ask me to expand on my thoughts, and then like I did 4 videos ago, and then I'm like, oh my god, I've said that. But by all means, I'll try and summarize as best as I can. So see you in the next one.